Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to another episode of Civilization 5. We are playing as Greece and trying to get ourselves a diplomatic victory. Now first of all I have to say thanks to an eagle-eyed viewer on the first video for pointing out something which I had failed to mention. And that is Greece actually has an extra little special ability. Now if we go to the Civilopedia, the thing it says about Greece is that their city-state influence degrades at half speed and recovers at twice the normal speed. And that is all it says about them. But there is another little factoid that is hidden away. Because even if we mouse over a city-state, it doesn't actually tell us this. But if we click on the city-state and then mouse over the status indicator, and we look at the bottom of the pop-up, because of your leader's special trait, you are allowed to freely pass through their borders. So we don't actually ever suffer a trespass penalty for moving a unit through a city-state's borders and ending a turn on one of their tiles. That's a little bit strange because this ability isn't documented anywhere other than on this screen. So that's very, very strange. But I thought I'd point it out. It doesn't really affect me much anyway, because as force of habit, I try not to stop in city-states borders if I can help it, but if I have to, I do so. But I thought I would point that out, so thanks to that eagle-eyed viewer for reminding me of that. Also, one thing that I haven't been doing is pledging to protect city-states. Now, there's a lot of talk between different people who play Civ whether it's worth doing it. Pledging to protect a city-state actually moves the resting point up from 0 to 5. So, whenever you are friendly or allied with a city-state, the amount of influence you have with them decreases over time. Obviously, it decreases at half rate for Greece, but it still decreases over time, until it eventually gets down to 0. If it goes below 0, it will increase over time until it reaches 0. Pledging to protect a city-state actually moves that resting point from 0 to positive 5, which is nice. All pledging to protect really does is says to the other players or to the AI, I'm protecting this city-state, leave them alone. It doesn't really do an awful lot else. However, it is actually quite nice in some cases if the AI does try to capture a city-state. Because if they capture a city-state and then we can liberate it, that becomes really good for us, because a liberated city-state will always vote for you right up until the end of the game, regardless of whether or not they're allied with you. The only way that can stop that happening is if somebody else comes along and captures that city-state again, or somebody else liberates it. So providing we can liberate a city-state is very good for us, which does mean we want to build up a bit of an army, because we do want to project the fact that we have some strength. So we're going to go on to the next turn. We should actually manage to get the Temple of Artemis on this turn now, and yes we do. So we get a 10% growth rate in all cities. We also get 15% production when building ranged units, which would be quite nice. So we do want to try and get some more archers out. Now there are quite a few things that we could build. A lot of these things I would like. We're going to go for the Great Library. We definitely want a library. We definitely could do with a granary because we have the wheat. But we're going to go for the Great Library because if we can get that built, it will also give us a free library anyway. And then we're going to need to start thinking about getting ourselves some units out. We can adopt a policy now. We could get an extra 1 happiness for each city connected to the capital, but we haven't got anything connected up via roads yet. It's quite expensive. Plus 1 production in every city and 5% when building in cities when constructing buildings. We're going to take that one next because that will mean we can build buildings a tiny little bit faster. Now we've got Sparta here. What we were also planning to do is get ourselves another settler and probably put it on this tile here because that would put us next to a river and on the coast. Now coastal cities are near enough always better if you're trying to make money because cargo ships give you much higher benefits than caravans. Saying that, we know we're on a Pangea map. We're quite fortunate to have started relatively close to the coast, which is nice. But we are going to have to use some caravans because we do have some city-states that aren't on the coast. And unlike something like, say, an archipelago map or even maybe to a certain degree a continents map, where most of the city-states tend to be either on islands or on the coast, there are quite a few inland. So having at least 1 or 2 caravans is going to be required. That said, cargo ships are still much better. It also means that you can connect cities on the coasts together using harbours. And harbours count as road, and then they count as rail later on when you get rail technology. If you've got harbours, that counts as a rail technology. And rail's really good as well. A lot of people don't realise that with rails, not only do they give you the speed improvement, but you also get an extra 50% production in cities that are connected to the capital via rail. So if you've got cities connected via harbours, when you research rail, that still applies to those cities as well. So we will try and get another city here on the coast and next to the river, because that will allow us to get some trade bonuses later on. So let's go through what we have to do. We've still got our scouts having a look around to see what we can find. These workers have now finished their construction there. Now, should I get them up here? I probably should consider going up there and getting that salt connected. So we're going to do that, actually. We're going to run up there. Now, Athens has a population of 5. It's made my city management disappear. It's definitely working all of the best tiles at the moment, so we're getting some quite good growth. So, quite happy to leave that as it is. And we've got a few units up here that are healing up. So, we'll allow that to carry on. Now we've got that wonder, we're actually top of the score already. So, turn 49 and we're top of the scoreboard. Can't really complain about that. An unknown civilization has started worshipping a pantheon. They have chosen the belief god of the open sky, so they get +1 culture for pastures. There's one player we haven't met yet. So we've got to do a bit of scouting around for those. We do have to be careful because we do know there is a barbarian camp over here, which is something that we're going to have to go and deal with shortly. Speaking of barbarians, there's some there next to Kathmandu. We are not the first people to meet Kathmandu. We can't really attack those guys, but we're on the hill, so we should be safe for now. I'm just hoping that worker's going to get across to Sparta safely. So, fingers crossed. Kathmandu doesn't manage to take them out, but they decide they're going to start attacking my scouts, which is fine for them, of course, because most progressive people. Washington's ahead. What a surprise. So, I'm going to give my scouts... Insta-heal seems a bit of a waste. Either survivalism or the visibility range. The visibility range is probably better on this map. And I can't even take these guys out. I wouldn't be able to kill them. So I'm going to heal up. Because if I go into Kathmandu and try and kill these off, Kathmandu are just going to finish them. However, if Kathmandu fire at them first and don't kill them on this turn, maybe I can go and mop them up with my scouts later. So that is what I am going to do. Now, why do you need orders? Because it's not an enemy unit that's near you, so why have you woken up? We are 1 turn away from completing the monument at Sparta. We're also 1 turn away from city growth, which is good. Workers are getting there. Can't see any barbarians around so far, which is good. Brilliant. This is what I wanted to happen. I wanted Kathmandu to weaken them down but not kill them. On the next turn, I should be able to get them. We've now researched sailing, which is good. My scouts are going to go in here and kill these hand axes. Scouts do take a little bit of damage. And they will now, of course, end their turn in Kathmandu's territory. But we've already established that that isn't going to have a negative effect against us. And we now have 12 influence with Kathmandu as well. So now we have our ability to create workboats. So we'll get a fishing boat out here at Sparta, hopefully very, very soon. We are going to need to connect Athens up to at least one other city. What I may do, though, is actually, whatever city we get here, connect Athens to this city via a road, because it'll be shorter than going to Sparta. And then we can actually connect those two together using a harbour later on. What else do we have around that we'd like to get? Well, we have sheep, but we've got pastures, so that isn't really a problem. There isn't anything else that we need to nab immediately, so let's just go and have a look at the tech tree and decide what else we could possibly get that could be useful to us. We should probably go into bronze working so we can start getting our hoplites. That'll probably be the most useful things for us. We will want to get our way into currency as early as possible, because we are going to want mints and markets. Petra, I don't really think we've got enough desert tiles around. In fact, let's have a look. We're on plains. We don't actually have a city built next to or on a desert tile. These are all plains. There's a couple of desert tiles around. I mean, we could build a city over here somewhere and grab Petra, which could be useful. But what you've got to remember with Petra is that it's limited use anyway. Because with Petra, +1 food and +1 production for all desert tiles worked by the city. So you're basically solving a problem that you've created yourself by settling in the desert anyway. But we will want to definitely go down the sort of currency route. But yeah, I certainly think for the time being, we want to go for bronze working, and we will get that set up for ourselves. What would be nice to do as well is if we can get ourselves, at some point, the Colossus. Can't remember where that is. I think it might be one of the social policies as well. Getting the Colossus can be quite useful. Can't spell because there's only one L in it. Colosseum, Colossus. There we go. Needs iron working. Yep, gains an additional trade route slot and cargo ship appears in the city. Trade routes other players make to a city with the Colossus will generate an extra 2 gold for the city owner, and trade route owner gets an additional 1 gold. Trade route must be built on the coast. So that's prerequisite of ironworking. Ironworking. Ah, yes, Colossus, there. So another good reason to go into bronze working, so we can get iron working and so we can get the Colossus, because that will really help our trade along. Sparta, what are we going to build here? Well, trying to build a wonder here is a little bit pointless. Would be nice to get a shrine up and running, but I think what we're going to do for the time being is we are going to get ourselves a workboat, and then we're going to use that workboat on this tile, which will help things immensely for us. Just keeping my eye to make sure there are no barbarians around here that are going to give us any problems. We will get our scout to heal up a little. We'll just move on to the next turn. That should be our archers fully healed at the end of this turn. Our workers have arrived, so they're going to build a mine on the salt. And Darius has entered the classical era. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to start moving our archers back over here and try and clear out that barbarian camp, assuming it's still there. I'm also going to start moving the axemen down as well. Oh, and look, we found ourselves some additional barbarians. Can't do a lot about them at this moment in time. So we're just going to continue to move our units down towards that other camp. Could we attack them and do anything? Not particularly. We'll stay there and continue to heal. We'll let Kathmandu continue to damage them down. Spain wants embassies. I don't have a problem with that, so let's go ahead and do that. We can now see where Spain is. They're quite far over to the west of us, or technically the east. I mean, it is a cylindrical map. It does go all the way around. We now have bronze working, which is good because it means we can see if we have any iron. We certainly don't have any within easy reach of Sparta at the moment. We do have some within the borders of Athens, though, which is quite useful, so we'll be able to pull our workers back there quite shortly. We could probably do with another worker. Also, that hand axeman is moving up in this direction, so I'm just going to put these guys up there on the hill for now so they can keep watch. And these guys are going to continue to head towards this camp. Now that we have completed bronze working, we could go into iron working and try and get a really early Colossus, or we could try and go in... Do we want the Hanging Gardens? Requires tradition. We haven't gone for tradition, we've gone for liberty, so we don't need to rush into mathematics. It would be nice to get watermills up and running, because most of our capital is built next to a river anyway. But I think I'm going to go for wheel. We don't really need any quarries at the moment. We don't need to worry about clearing marshes. Now, the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus would be useful to us because we would gain gold each time we expend a great person. But we don't have a lot of marble and stone, so it's not that useful. So I'm going to go into the wheel, then I'm going to go into ironworking, and then I'm going to start backfilling tech. So let us do that. Unit needs orders. You are now fully healed, so you're going to go and have a look. We can see those... axe throwers at least. We can see some of America's troops. Okay, so they're kind of heading towards that barbarian camp. Ah, and they've actually captured a worker. Well, that's nice, because I need myself a free worker. So let us start moving down towards them. And let us carry on scouting around, because that is what scouts do, and they don't have an awful lot of use beyond that. So, you want to give me 5 gold per turn, plus an embassy for salt. Now, I do have a spare salt, but I'm not bothered about embassy. Will you give me 7 gold per turn just for the salt? Yes, you will. Okay. 7 gold is usually about the maximum amount of gold you will get out of the AI for a strategic luxury. Another hand axe down there that we need to be careful of. So you guys are going to start shooting at these guys. You're going to get up onto the hill for safety, so we can keep our eye on these guys. And you're just actually going to move around here. We're going to ignore those barbarians for the time being. We're just going to concentrate on scouting around. I think we will get these sheep connected up while we're here. It makes the most sense. Mutual embassies from Washington. I don't have an issue with that, so let's go ahead and do that. Still got that one city that we haven't found yet, or that one civilization. You guys are going to construct a pasture there. Let's get some additional food going. And let's continue to have a look around. We can see a little bit more into Washington's territory now. He's got iron, he's got stone, he's got spices, and he's got gold, at the very least. You guys will continue to fight here as well. We're actually going to have a second iron within the borders of Athens soon. Maybe even some marble at some point. Let's let you heal up. You're not going to go in until you need to. Alright, we've missed out on the Great Library, unfortunately. It has been built in a land far away, which is a bit of a shame for us. We do get some gold back, of course, because we were working on it, and we've now lost that, which is a real shame. And like I said, this is one of the problems that you do have when you start to play on high difficulty levels, that the AI does start to beat you to a lot of the wonders which may have been considered easy. Now, do I try going for Stonehenge? Possibly, but it may be a waste of time. What I'm going to go for definitely first is the... Definitely going for the library first. If we get the library built, I'll see if I can do Stonehenge, but I'm not going to prioritise it. We have met Leventa. We're actually the first people to meet them, which is quite strange. Where are they? Oh, they're actually out there. Okay, that's fine. Let's continue to weaken these guys down. That was a big hit. Can we actually finish them off? Yes, we can. So let's go and do that. Now, the unit used to belong to Kathmandu, but I'm going to take the unit. 45 influence is nice, but at this stage in the game, a free worker is better. Discovered another barbarian encampment, but of course we have. Looks like Leventa's trying to deal with them. We have researched the wheel, which now means we can make chariot archers. Workers, you get back to the safety of the city. I think we're going to go and get that iron connected up, actually. You can heal up, and you guys should probably just have a look up here to the north and make sure nothing's spawned up here. Alright, America has a settler. America do tend to spread very, very fast, so that is going to be a concern later, but hopefully we can stay friendly with everything. The Songhai already want to go to war with Spain. I've got no interest in your wars, but if you want to go and fight each other, by all means, go and do that. Morocco, let's have a mutual embassy, although we already know where your capital is, because I think we'd already found it. Oh no, we'd met your troops, but now we know where Morocco is. Okay, that's fine. Right, Ifi, whatever it's called, it's under attack. Now that's over here somewhere. There's a barbarian camp right next to it, so it's going to take us a little while to get there, but we're going to move over and see if we can render them any aid. You guys get over there. You guys are healing up. You guys may as well come back down before these borders expand and you end up getting stuck in the corner. And we actually have some unhappiness at the moment, which is potentially problematic, but we will deal with that shortly. Let's keep having a look around. Choose production. Sparta has now finished its workboat. What would be useful here? Now, growth isn't really important because at this point in the game we are unhappy, so therefore we're not actually gaining any happiness. We're not actually gaining any growth. Let's go for the library and start getting our tech up because that's going to be better for us. We'll go and connect this fishing boat up anyway, as kind of pointless as it is because we can't grow. Let's have a quick look at Sparta because we are on default management. That's a very, very good tile for us now. Anything else would give us a bit more production? No, we're really working all the best tiles at the moment, so there's not an awful lot we can do there. Unit needs orders. You're going to have the river crossing, sadly, but we're going to get you over to Ife if we can. So, the Songhai want to go to war with Spain. Spain want to go to war with Songhai. Both of them are trying to get me involved. I am going to avoid that. 2,141 turns until Athens next grows. So, you know, well after the end of the game. But as soon as our happiness problems are over, we should have dealt with that. So, we've got our library, which is good. We can't grow. We know this. Would be nice to squeeze a hoplite out, but I think we're going to try and go for Stonehenge, especially given the fact that we do actually have Uluru here as well. I didn't intend to play the religious game. I still don't really, but it would be nice if we can actually get ourselves a decent religion to start with, and maybe get tithe and give ourselves some extra gold. So we'll try. We'll see what we can do. Now, I think Leventra are probably going to wipe that... yeah, they've killed the Barbarians. But they probably won't clear the camp. They have a habit of actually not doing that. They'll wipe the Barbarians out, but then leave the camp alone. So we may be able to go and do that. Not sure if there's anything down here that we need to deal with. So I might just keep these warriors close to home. Now, if Spain and the Songhai go to war, which is quite strange because... Oh, that's Persia. Where are the Songhai? The Songhai are there. Yeah, they're closer to me than Spain. I think I'd probably prefer Spain to win in that war because the Songhai do tend to be the most aggressive, but the Spanish like to spread their religion everywhere, so it's a little bit difficult to know which I prefer. Okay, so we've pretty much got everything of use hooked up here, but let's go ahead and get ourselves a farm. I'm going to continue to try and get across here as quickly as we can. We also need to get ourselves a caravan. That's probably the next thing that we will do at Athens. In fact, we've actually got enough gold. We are just going to purchase a caravan. Now, does anybody have a trade mission at the moment? No. But lots of people do want... Kuala Lumpur actually wants us to build Stonehenge. So if we do build Stonehenge, that will probably make them our allies. Sofia want gold connected to our trade network. Ife want horses. And everybody else has just basically got barbarians that they need dealing with. Okay, that is fine. So let's use our scouts to go and nab that, which gives us some gold and also makes Leventra very, very happy with us. And then we can continue to scout around. You guys are going to build a farm. Forest Plains, yes, the same, whichever one we do. Right, you've got your own units in the way. I can't see what's attacking you, but you claim to have a barbarian unit around, so we will have a look and see what we can find. Oh no, a unit needs orders. Let's get you up here. We'll use you to check, see if nothing's spawned up there. We should be okay, but you never know. These barbarian camps do have a habit of spawning right next to your city and then coming and nabbing your workers when you think you're safe. Okay, a unit needs orders, so let's go and have a look down here. We'll find ourselves another city-state, and Bucharest, not the first person to meet them. Also found another barbarian encampment over there. Can't really deal with them with scouts, but we'll see what happens. Caravan. So, trade routes. We actually have 3 options. We could trade with Passagarde and we would gain 2 gold and 2 science per turn in exchange for 1 science and 1 gold back. Or we could get 3 gold per turn from IFE, whatever. Or we could get 3 gold per turn from Kuala Lumpur. Now, it's worth trading with the city-states where you can, because it does give you some extra reputation, but normally only if you have a quest with them. Do I want the extra 2 science, or do I want the extra 1 gold per turn? You've also got to consider as well, what are the chances of getting there without being attacked by barbarians? Now, one thing that is quite useful is if you go into additional information, because one thing we know about trade routes is, if I click establish trade route, this only shows me the trade routes that I can have from Athens. What I could do is I could change the home city, move the caravan to Sparta, and probably trade with some other places from Sparta. How do I know which one is going to be the best for me without moving the caravan around? Well, if you go into additional information and go into trade route overview, I think you can actually do it as well just by clicking on the trade route number up here. Yes, you can. So go into the trade route overview, and that shows you any trade routes that you currently have, your trade routes, any trade routes that you currently have set up. You've also got trade routes with you, which is trade routes that belong to other civs that come to you. But the one we're interested in is trade routes available. Now, this shows me all of the different trade routes that I could possibly have. So if I sort them by gold order, you can see the best trade route that I could possibly have is actually Sparta to Samarkand, but it is a sea route. That would give me 5.9 gold per turn. Sparta to Samarkand via caravan would give me 3.7, and Sparta to Washington would give me 3.5. Athens to Kuala Lumpur gives me 3.2. So out of all of the ones there are to choose from, the best one I could actually do is Sparta to Samarkand, which is what I will do. So we're going to rehome you and put you into Sparta, which then means I can build a caravanserai there later on and make it even more profitable. So unit needs orders. I don't doubt that you're under attack. It looks like you're actually going for that barbarian encampment if you haven't already cleared it out. You have a lot of units. Not bad for a religious state. Morocco has started worshipping a pantheon of gods. They have chosen the belief goddess of protection. They get 30% increase in their city's ranged combat strength. We have a new culture to get another social policy. Now, we could get ourselves a free settler, or we could have 1 happiness for each city connected to the capital, which would be useful. However, we do have the problem at the moment that we don't actually have any happiness anyway, and we don't have any cities connected together, so either one is a little bit useless. So what would be the best thing to go for? I think we're going to go for this first. We may build some roads, and it's actually giving us +1 happiness anyway, because the capital is technically connected to the capital. So even though we don't have anything connected up to the capital, we actually lose 1 unhappiness. So that did work out for us. And then next time we'll get our free settler and pop it over there, assuming that our culture's coming in fast enough. So we'll continue to have a look around Bucharest, see what we can find. You guys are going to go up there. I think I'll keep you atop the hill, actually. You've got quite a good view from there. This caravan is going to go to you guys. Now, we know that we could actually go to Washington here. Let's just double check on this, actually. Yeah, Washington only gives me 3.5, whereas I'm getting 3.7 from going to Samarkand. Although I would be getting 2 science from going to Washington. Now, 0.2 gold is probably, you know, an extra 2 science per turn, because we're only getting 16. 2 science is probably much, much better than 0.2 gold. So I'm actually going to trade with Washington. And that'll make Washington happy, and he'll be less likely to go to war with me or anything. We've cleared this forest here, which gives us 20 extra production, which is nice, because that goes into the library. So let's have a look and see what you've got. Yep, you've actually cleared the camp. We'll have a quick scout around over in this direction, just see what we can see. It may well have even been Morocco that cleared that camp. It's quite a possibility. If he now desires a trade route, of course they do, because I've now established a trade route, so that's typical. Okay, let's start getting this archer back and start protecting the realm. we've got that barbarian camp over there, of course, which we are aware of. You guys are on a hill, so just stay up there and keep your eyes open. You guys have now connected the iron. Is there really anything worth you connecting up? We could get a road going to Sparta, but it would be quite expensive. It is going to be 24 turns before we get our next city. I think what I'm going to do, and this may be controversial, but I'm actually going to move you guys onto the hill, and then I'm going to get them to build a road up to here ready. So the moment I pop that new city down, they will actually be, it'll be connected up. That is definitely going to happen. So on to the next turn, and we'll play out this next turn, and then that will probably be the end of this video because it's starting to run on a little. So we're going to get you to build a road all the way to there. It's only 3 hexes, so they should do it in plenty of time. Got a very, very near-dead barbarian there, which unfortunately that we can't quite kill. Ah, the Americans have been having a pop. So the Americans have cleared that camp. Sadly, what will happen, we will do the next turn because we didn't really do anything there. Sadly, what will probably happen is that that barbarian will get attacked by the Americans before it has a chance to attack me and get itself killed. Archer is going to work its way back via these hexes just so we can clear and see what we can see. Yeah, Washington's going in for the attack. Bit of a shame, but it was expected. He must have had a promotion because he's instantly healed that unit. And just randomly making warriors appear. There are some barbarians here, though, that we can chase down. We can choose production at Sparta. We have now finished the library. We could get the watermill, but again, we're having a problem with happiness, so we don't really want to be growing all that quickly. We could get the shrine as well, but I think it's probably time to get a hoplite, because we're going to be quite below in military. If we actually look at the demographics and we look at soldiers, we are actually 8th. We're at the bottom. So we certainly do need to do that. We haven't actually had a look at the demographics since we started. We are top for manufactured goods, so we have the highest production. We're the 2nd wealthiest. We are 4th in terms of food and land. We are 5th for population. We are 7th for science, so we really do need to catch up there. And for happiness and our military, we are the worst, really. So certainly need to sort some things out there. But that's about all that I'm able to do on this video. We'll get that hoplite out. We will then get out some cargo routes, some cargo ships, and get those up and running. We'll get our 3rd city. We'll start working on our science. We'll get our Colossus so we can have an extra trade route. Of course, we'll get a free cargo ship for that. So it may well be worth... what have we got left on that? 10 turns. I may put those two turns into the hoplite, and then as soon as we've finished iron working, actually just cancel that and start building the Colossus, because if we build the Colossus, we'll actually get a free cargo ship anyway, and then go back to building the hoplite. So that is probably what I will do there. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you're still enjoying the series, and I hope you're actually finding some useful information from it, and I'll see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.